The angle of elevation of a higher balloon from two observation points x and y on the level ground are 42 degrees in 10 minutes and 23 degrees in 30 minutes, respectively. I'm not too sure if I actually drew the picture differently on your practice test, but either way it's fine. As shown in the picture, and they tell that x and y and z are in the same vertical plane, and x and y are 12.2 miles apart. Find the height of the balloon. So in this case, I need to be able to find the height. So therefore, I'm going to draw the height. It's going to be perpendicular to the ground, and I'm going to call that h. Now, one of the key things that you have to remember is that the 12.2 belongs from here all the way to x. Because sometimes I know that some people say, well, this is 12.2 and this is a right angle. So therefore I can use SOHCAHTOA. But 12.2 is from x to y or from y to x. And I need to be able to find the height. So if you notice, if I look at the right triangle on the right, I don't have any of those sides. And if I look at the right triangle on the left, I don't have any of those three sides. So therefore, I'm going to have to look at the larger triangle to find either one of those two sides. So you need to decide whether you want to work with this triangle or this triangle. In this case, let me go and use this triangle here. So I'm just going to find, let's go and label this x. I want to find x, and since I know the two angles, I know I can find this angle here because I know that all three will be equal to 180. So let me just subtract it. Minus 42 minutes and 10 minutes. And I'm just using my iPad to type that in. And that gives me 114.333. So I'll be 114 degrees and how many minutes? So that's 30 and that's 10, that's 40. How many more minutes are left? 20. And if you're not too sure, you can just multiply 0.3333 times 60, and that should give you close to 20 minutes. And now I can use the law of sine. Since I have an angle in the opposite side, I'm going to find x. So let's go and find x. That'll be x over the sine of 23 degrees. Remember, x over the opposite sine in 30 minutes is equal to 12.2 over the sine of 114 degrees in 20 minutes. And now from here, I can go ahead and solve it. I'm going to cross multiply and then divide. And I'm going to do everything in one step. X is equal to 12.2, the sine of 23 degrees in 30 minutes, over the sine of 114 degrees in 20 minutes. And I'm going to type that everything into my calculator all at once, since it allows me to do the fraction bar. And so once I type everything into a calculator, I just press enter. It gives me 5.33. So I'm going to leave that into my calculator, 5.3. And now I can use the right triangle to find the height. So I'm going to be standing here, and since this is a right triangle, I can use SOHCAHTOA. Opposite over hypotenuse. So find h. So the sine of 42 degrees in 10 minutes will be equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse, which is 5.3. From here, I'm just going to cross multiply, so therefore h is equal to 5.3 multiplied by the sine of 42 degrees in 10 minutes. Remember that the 5.3 is still in my calculator. So I'm just going to multiply by the sine of 42 degrees in 10 minutes. And that gives me 3.58. Or in this case, I'm just going to write that out to h is equal to 3.6. And in this case, we're talking about miles. And that will be the height of the balloon. But first, I need to be able to find one of the sides. I chose to find this side. And from there, I can use SOHCAHTOA, since we're dealing with the right triangle, to find the height.